In honor of James Gunn's The Suicide Squad releasing its final trailer, I thought it would be fun to go over some Suicide Squad Funko Pop concepts. Let's do it. Hey, what's going on YouTube? Popmaster here. Hope you all are doing well. And all of the concepts from today's video come from the Instagram accounts Pop Eyes and Nathan's Funkos, which will be linked down in the description below. I don't know how they make these, but they all look amazing. Starting off the video, we have a custom of Harley Quinn in her red dress from the first trailer. She's one of the main characters of the film, having been featured in the first Suicide Squad movie as well as the 2020 film Birds of Prey. This is one of many looks she'll have in the movie, as other trailers have shown her in a black and red suit. Overall, I really like the action pose design along with the texturing of the dress and the multicolored hair. Also, the shadow beneath her eyes and the heart on her face are nice touches as well. Next up, we have one of the funniest characters in the movie, King Shark.
And
what do you got?
Bird.
Who can't seem to form complete sentences, at least from what we've seen in the trailer. Although the design itself certainly has some time and quality put into it, the final product just doesn't really look like the character we've seen on screen. The gray coloring used here is a couple shades too dark for the King Shark character, and the head isn't quite as detached as the concept makes it look. If Funko decides to make this guy, I think he would look phenomenal in a 6-inch mold, given that he's quite a bit bigger than the other squad members. Something I do like about this concept is the shorts, with Pop Eyes nailed here. Our third concept of the day is none other than the Suicide Squad's field leader, Rick Flagg. Like Harley, he's a holdover from the first movie with an entirely new look. In the first movie, he had a strict military man type vibe, which the pop from that movie captured. But he seems to have undergone a personality change, which his new pop has also captured. He has this bunny t-shirt that we've seen him in with some of the trailers, as well as a shotgun and camo pants. Add the slight scar on his right eye, and you have the perfect Rick Flagg Funko Pop. I love it! Next up, we have Peacemaker, or should I say, John Cena! It goes without saying, but Peacemaker is a pretty weird character to say the least. But I do love the pop concept here. This looks exactly like he does in the trailers from the top on down. The only thing I would change is to make his helmet chrome instead of the typical gray showed here, as his helmet is chrome in the movie, or at least from what we've seen in the trailers. Maybe they can make a chrome helmeted Peacemaker helmet exclusive to a store or something like that. I don't know. Speaking of exclusives, this pop comes with a non-helmeted chase variant, which is the perfect use of a chase in my opinion. Overall, this has to be one of the more accurate designs so far, and I look forward to seeing Peacemaker not only in The Suicide Squad, but also in his own show, which debuts early next year. Next up is our squad's main villain, Starro. We haven't seen too much of this guy in the trailers, and we don't know much about him, but I assume that's intentional. Many of the characters in this movie are unknown to the general public, and that list definitely includes Starro. The pop here has a nice mix of Starro's colorways, that being the blue and purple with a yellow eye. I kind of like it because the design is so unique, but I want to learn a little more about the character before picking him up. Speaking of unknown characters, our next concept is Nathan Fillion's TDK, which stands for The Detachable Kid. As his name suggests, his powers are quite strange, as they involve his arms literally detaching from his body and doing all sorts of stuff. Weird, right? We have seen very little of him in the trailers, which tells me that TDK might die pretty early on in the movie. The chest on down from this pop looks great, especially the logo in the center, but the head and helmet look a little too cartoony for me, almost like not a real pop. It could just be a lighting thing, but it might just be a design problem that the people encountered. I don't know. In terms of a final design of this pop, the arms would have to attach to the body somehow, but Funko could easily do that with some translucent plastic or another material like that. This one has an okay design, not the worst, but definitely not the best. Next up is a character named Blackguard. We don't know too much about this guy. He's been in the trailers, yeah, but his most notable line was thinking Weasel was some sort of German Shepherd, which is pretty funny, but whatever. Overall, I do like how the black and gold color scheme of his character was translated over to the pop form. The black suit with the gold markings looks awesome, and all goes great with his blonde hair. Not much to say here since this is a fairly basic pop. It's a solid design for sure, and a great addition to the squad. Our next pop is none other than Amanda Waller, the creator of the Suicide Squad. Another returning character from the first film. She didn't get a pop for that movie, so it's nice to see a design for her here. She's a bit of an anti-hero at times, but in her words,
because getting people to act against their own self-interest is what I do for a living.
Overall, since Waller isn't a metahuman and isn't part of the squad, the creativity choices for her are a bit more limited. Her design, however, more than meets the mark. She has the white dress and the black scarf we see her wear in the trailers, and her hair looks detailed and accurate as well. I also like the blue accents in her eyes to show the demeaning personality that she has. It really comes out great in the pop, and I can't wait to see Amanda return in the new movie. Another unknown character in the Suicide Squad is Weasel, which so happens to be our next concept. He seems to be a bit more animal than human, and the crime he was arrested for is pretty crazy. All that aside, the pop looks really great, and I like how they're able to accentuate the tufts of hair on his skin. It looks really furry for a pop that isn't even flocked. And if Funko makes a Weasel pop, rest assured, there will be a flocked variant of this guy out there somewhere. I'm not sure where. He's a perfect fit for it. Fun fact, Weasel is played by Sean Gunn, who's actually the younger brother of director James Gunn and frequently stars in his films. Just thought I would share that. Next up is our last returning character from 2016's Suicide Squad, Captain Boomerang. He was one of my favorite characters from that film, not only because of the boomerangs, but because of his unique personality and Aussie accent. From the Funko side, it's nice to have a good looking Boomerang pop, because the one from 2016 sucks. Like, what is this? It looks nothing like him, and the blue suit makes him look like an absolute goofball. Granted, this was Funko in 2016, sure, but still. The 2021 version looks a lot better, and I like how well the boomerangs on his chest translate into pop form, as well as the rest of his getup. The only thing I don't like is his face. I don't know what it is, but Boomer's face here makes him look way older than he's supposed to be. Boomer's a young man in Suicide Squad, but the face here makes him look rough and middle-aged. Besides some facial details, the pop looks great. This next pop here is a really funny one, that being Polka Dot Man. He literally has a full suit of polka dots that he throws at people, which then turn into explosives, and we see a bit of that in the trailer. Quite strange, I know, but that's just how it is. The pop itself looks great, like most of these other ones. I love how they were able to get the different colored dots on him and get the red tint of his goggles down pretty well. Only thing I wish was different is having Polka Dot Man in more of an action pose, maybe when he's actually throwing the dots like we see in the trailers. Maybe that could be a con exclusive? Who knows? This next one is one of the main characters of the Suicide Squad, Idris Elba's Bloodsport. He seems to be taking on a Deadshot type role from the first Suicide Squad, with his motivation being the chance to see his young daughter outside of prison. A very emotional story for sure, and I wonder if Bloodsport will end up sacrificing himself to save the other members of the team to kind of go out in a heroic fashion, if you know what I mean. Who knows? We'll just have to wait and see on that. This pop looks fantastic, and unlike some of the other designs, this one totally nailed Idris Elba's face. It looks just like him. Everything from the facial hair to the suit to the guns, it's just really well done. There's also a chase version of Bloodsport featuring him wearing his helmet. It gives me some serious Alien vibes, but it still looks pretty awesome. This next one here is Peter Capaldi's The Thinker. And from the body on down, it's a pretty basic pop, but the head looks really great. I like how they're able to get the wrinkles in his forehead, as well as the Frankenstein type lobes that are kind of poking out of his skull. I also like how they're able to get the different colored wires down as well. A great pop, but pretty basic, and I'm not really sure what to think of it. Next up, we have Fluka Borg's character, also known as Javelin. We don't know too much about him, and he's only been in the trailers for a few seconds, but I really like the color scheme that they went with on this pop. The blue and the yellow suit looks really great, especially the gold accents that are hidden throughout. Only thing I don't like is his face, because I remember that in the trailers he seems to have a bit more of a beard, but in this one it's only the beard outline that you see on pop, so I wish they gave him a bit more facial hair to have him more accurately represent the character that's supposed to be on screen. Other than that, it looks great. I think the eyes maybe should have been a different color. I think the white is a little too attention-grabbing for the rest of the pop, but other than that, a very solid design for sure. Another underrated character in this movie is Michael Rooker's Savant. We've only seen a couple shots of him, mainly him throwing the mainly him throwing the tennis ball around in his prison cell. Other than that, I think this pop looks great. I think it looks really cool. I love the hair, love the goggles, love his overall suit, and I like the shine that they put on the pistol. Just 10 out of 10, love it. And then I think this is the next last one is Ratcatcher 2, which along with Bloodsport I've heard is the heart of the movie. She and Bloodsport seem to know each other, or at least have a mutual respect and want to get each other out alive, which is awesome. I'm really excited to see that dynamic play out on screen. And I like how they were able to put a small little rat at the base of the pop. I think it would look even better if what they did is they had a sort of rat accessory, how they do the pets and stuff like that on some of the other Funko Pops. That's my only critique of this one, but since it's a human character, there's not a whole lot they can do. I like how they put the flashlight in for her as well, but other than that, that's all I have to say on her. And then our last one here is I don't know how to say her name, Mongol. So Mongol is our last one. We've barely seen any of her in any of the marketing, but I think this one looks great. I like how they're able to get the two swords of her down pretty well in this design, and then the helmet, of course, looks phenomenal, along with the rest of the suit. I also like how they're able to get the red ponytail going all the way down her side. But that is it for this video. Let me know down in the comments below if Funko ends up making any of these Suicide Squad Funko Pops, which ones are you picking up? Thank you all so much for watching and have a great day. Bye.